Get ready for some drama in the US presidential election. The Federal Reserve's surprise interest rate cut is all over the news. The Federal Reserve cut interest rates by 0.5%, the first cut since 2020. This bold move has ignited a political firestorm just weeks before the presidential election. The former president believes the Fed's rate cut shows the US economy is in bad shape, or that the Fed has a political agenda. On September 18th, after a two-day policy meeting, the Federal Reserve announced a 50 basis point, 0.5% cut to the benchmark interest rate. And this is the first time they've cut rates since 2020. Immediately following the Fed's announcement at an event in Manhattan, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump commented, "I guess this shows the economy is very bad. That's why they had to cut rates so much. Or they have a political agenda. Either way, it's a big cut." Meanwhile, Trump's opponent in the race for the White House, Vice President Kamala Harris, commented yesterday, "The rate cut is welcome news for Americans who are feeling the pressure of high prices." She added that as a presidential candidate, her concern remains how to cool down prices. This is not the first time Trump has criticized Fed Chair Jerome Powell or accused the Fed of having a political agenda. In February, Trump hinted on Fox Business Network that he would replace Powell and said that cutting interest rates would benefit the Democrats. In a Bloomberg interview this summer, Trump continued to warn Powell not to cut rates before the election. Last month at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, Trump again declared that he wanted to intervene in the Fed's decisions. "I feel that at least the president should have a say. In my case, I've been very successful, made a lot of money, so in many situations I would have better instincts than the officials or the Fed chair," he said. That statement worried analysts because the Fed operates independently of politicians. The Fed's independence has helped the US dollar maintain its position as the world's reserve currency for decades. The US presidential election will take place in early November. Recent polls show that a majority of American voters remain concerned about inflation and the cost of living, even though the Consumer Price Index, CPI, has slowed in recent months. The latest poll by the Financial Times and the University of Michigan found that 80% of voters surveyed cited inflation as the biggest reason for their financial stress. Wall Street's reaction, a mix of initial optimism and subsequent caution. Mr. Powell also agreed with the concerns raised by economists and analysts about inflation. The Fed chief agreed that it takes time for monetary policies to take effect. US officials also said they need to preempt further weakening in the labor market before things go too far, similar to what happened with inflation. The time to support the labor market is when things are stable, not wait until companies lay off workers en masse and then jump in, Powell said. The impact of the rate cut on inflation and household spending will not be immediate, and political tensions are sure to rise. Stay tuned for the next developments in this dramatic financial and political story.